Raw being brought to you by a live studio audience. The year is 2019, and two fairly handsome young adults are going out into the world of YouTube and decide on this very day in 2018, however, due to copyright and GDPR reasons we will not mention, set out to become their own trend in starting the HZRZ podcast. Unfortunately, due to technical issues and the fact that Xbox and Switch just decided to not let anyone have any fun and go, wow, they would not let the podcast happen. And down and fails. And it was never to be seen ever again. Until the year is 2023. And the two very handsome British individuals have decided to do it again, which is now where we come today, live from the HiGGzYYY podcast HQ on Minecraft. Your host for this evening, Mr. Rips and HiGGzY. Yay!
Hi guys, welcome to a new podcast with HiGGzY, and we're going to be just chatting, having fun, and having a class time, hopefully. As long as Xbox doesn't DDoS us like it did for our last podcast, which we just recorded 5 seconds ago.
Hey guys, HiGGzY here. Yeah, it's we did so much, and we had such a good time. We literally had the chemicals and the manpower to even potentially cure AIDS, and it just decided to. Computer says no. So we are now here again, knackered, in need of attention, and we're here again, having to record another video because we are committed. Not to say we are, but when you put so much effort and so much time into trying to get stuff done, and then it just gets thrown away from you. But you know what? We're coming back better, stronger than ever. Are we, Rips?
Yeah, I just had to go
Yay!
into my settings, my game settings, to turn off my hand and my HUD, just to make sure that it looked nice, because I didn't do that when I started the stream. But, we got a little candle light, in the little corner there.
Yeah, where are we? We're in some dimension far, far away, and we thought this set up because we attempted this back in 2018-19, and for whatever reason, it just didn't let
basically,
anything happen.
when I was recording back in the day, there was one time that I didn't want to include party audio when I was gaming because people kept on joining my party and just shouting random things. So I turned off party audio. And then what happened is then Twitch edited a setting which basically stopped people from being able to include or exclude party audio. So that means that I could never turn it back on. So that means I couldn't ever have party audio
It was
enabled.
stuck in
And I
limbo.
couldn't.
It was stuck in limbo. Limbo in
Yeah.
his way with the hula hoops around, like.
But then Twitch did a brand new update which allowed me to include party audio. So here we are now. The HCRZ podcast.
Yeah, here we are now. Again, for the second time. Because the first time, Twitch decided to clickbait us and say... and actually went... and it wasn't recording. So, yeah, it's great. And do you know when you talk about something for so long that you're like, I have to do it again now, and I just want to turn my... I just want to turn my anus inside out. That's my feeling right now. I don't know if anyone's ever had that. It's just...
Well, let's get this podcast started anyway.
The amount of sexual sounds I would like to make is immeasurable. It's like, I don't know. I can't speak words because
let's
of how
get this
much
podcast
words I
started
spoke.
anyway.
Okay, so what we're talking about today?
So the first thing I wanted to talk about was I wanted to go back to front with the podcast, really. The last podcast we talked about this subject more at the end, but I want to talk about it more at the start because it's more of an interesting subject, which is conspiracy theories / like paranormal stuff, and I wanted to start off with the paranormal stuff first because
Oh.
it's a very interesting subject and it's
Mm.
a lot to talk about. Now, when we're talking about the subject, I wanted to talk about ghosts and you know different supernatural creatures that
Yeah.
other people
Mm.
have talked about in common theory. Um, the first thing I would like to talk about is: do you think vampires would be would they be the same as they are, you know, in movies and shows? You know what I mean? And
With the vampires be shit, simple challenge. Yeah, I think they would, mate, to be fair.
I don't think they would be like the
Sorry.
movies.
Well, what are you talking about from Christopher Lee in Dracula when he wore a cape and went one, two,
No, I'm talking like
three.
Vampire Diaries esque Twilight. You know what I mean? I
Okay,
don't reckon
I haven't
vampires would be
seen
nothing
any
like
of
any of
those.
those.
Have you seen Twilight? Because I have not seen it, so I can't.
I've seen everything when it
You've
comes to
seen it. You
vampires
can't just be like,
stuff.
you can't,
All right,
you can't
so
snap your fingers together and go,
with Twilight,
oh,
they would
oh,
twinkle in the sunlight.
little star.
Yeah, they would twinkle, twinkle, little star in the sunlight. Super speed is commonly between all vampires. They would run fast. Super strength is between about all of them as well. And there's also something to do with their eyes, which is like stupid. I don't get it with like
What they
vampires
get
and certain
cockeye.
eye color.
They get to look at you and then look behind you at the same time. No, I mean, it has in media. It's changed vampires. So the thing is, I've never really been into like, the vampire werewolf thing. I mean, I really liked. I don't know if you've ever seen Underworld. Really
Yeah,
good film with Bill Nighy and other Ninky Knocks. But I don't know. Sorry, I don't know the other actors in it, but that was really good. There's also another film that I've seen a couple where it portrays basically humanity is going extinct because the people want to become vampires because you know, the strong, the HYZ. Um, so I think I don't. They'd obviously be very pale. Have like you said, they have red eyes. Now I don't know if they turn into bats. I don't know if that was Dracula who did. I don't know where that came from. The vampires turn into bats. I don't think they would do that. And,
I
I'm trying
reckon
to
they
think
would
of one.
have something with bats though, because bats are the creatures. Bats do take blood.
Backscat.
Like bats do drink blood. Like
Or,
that's
well, the vampire bat does. There's a vampire bat out there that does, but uh, um, yeah, I guess they would do that. Yeah. What are we talking about?
and they definitely wouldn't be in sunlight. 100%. There's no way the bats the vampires would be like a day like a daylight creature. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because if
no, it's very
like
true. They're nocturnal.
every single vampire thing has that common thing of something is like apparent in the sunlight, whether they shine, whether they die from sunlight, or there's always a common
Yeah,
denominator of something to do with sunlight. So I definitely think that would be a factor when it comes to vampires, and
and
that's the reason they would be pale, not
yeah,
because them
I
actually being
mean,
pale.
I think that's the reason the sunlight burns them is because they are pale. I mean, there's also that thing that vampires have to, you know, you have to allow them to enter your house because they can't come in.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from actually. I saw a movie where this kid was obsessed with vampires and no one believed him. And he ended up getting killed by one. Um, and I don't know what it is that like if they enter the house without being allowed in, they die. Or I don't know what happens. But yeah,
I mean, it would be if vampires were in our world, right? That would be a way for like to stop the vampires, and personally, that
yeah,
would be a reason we would still be a factor or alive, because the vampires, being able to get in our houses means there's
yeah.
nowhere safe for us, and there's no way we would beat them in a fight. at that point. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no way, because they're much stronger, much faster, and they don't die either. Only if you stick it a stake through the heart, obviously, because that's kind of what happened. I've just checked the stream, and I'm blood popping like a mother trucker with my microphone, which is quite yum times. So I apologise. It isn't usually like this. It's just for some reason his editing software just makes them go to everyone else in it. So it's great. It is great.
Yeah, I don't know how to change that
Fantastic.
or edit that at all, so we're just stuck like that. Um, but anyway, guys, like when it comes to like vampires or something, it would be it would be cool,
They,
but
yeah,
I guarantee I wouldn't wanna be on the human side of things. I would not want to be on the human side of things because I guarantee
no,
humans would get dunked on.
yeah,
Now
they'd be the worst sometimes.
going into ghosts and everything like that, I think paranormal activity. I've personally never experienced anything paranormal or ghosts at all. Me and Higgsy were talking about in the last podcast that you guys didn't get to see, possibly doing some like going on some paranormal adventures,
Yeah,
like
like,
RIL, like in real
yeah,
life.
like, all right.
I don't know how to say it
Yeah,
properly.
it's RAL, isn't it?
No,
No, yeah. No, we're talking about urban explorations that basically go
IR,
out to diff-
IRL
yeah, just
in
interrupt me
real
there, you
life.
very nice, unrooted man. Thank you. Um, Gavin, Gavin, urban explorations to sites across the UK. I mean, we can go elsewhere. Like, I mean, in Japan, I've got, very, because of their history, I've got lots of places. Um, we can go to America. We can go to, I don't know, anywhere else we can go to. We can go anywhere. Hey,
Yeah.
hello,
Hello.
hello.
We can definitely go like to most places, and I'd be excited to explore England and
Yeah,
exploring the UK and seeing
yeah,
what
yeah.
sites they have over here. And we were talking about doing that, which might be fun.
Hmm.
And Higgsy actually
Yeah,
has a
it would
story.
be.
I'm gonna
It,
let
it
him
would
take
be.
over this story because then I'm going to explain how it could be a video idea at a later date. Do you want to explain your story?
Yeah, I will. I mean, before that, so yeah, we can explore. I mean, there are places that our YouTubers have been to beforehand, which have been exploring areas. There is a place in England which is the most hauntedest forest in the UK. Now, we're more than happy to do that, but obviously, because we are very, unscared guys. We would need your guys' opinions and obviously, appraisals. If you guys do want to see it, do let us know, comment and like. And if there's any places you guys, if this is something you want us to do, if there's any way you guys would like us to go to, drop it down. And sure, we can put it on our list to do. We'll get like a little, like a wheel of fortune wheel, spin it around, and then whichever location it lands on, we'll do that. But obviously that'll come at a later date if we have a lot of time and we can do it. You get that joke, fair play. So yeah, I personally don't really believe in. Well, I say I'm one of these people where until I see something hard proof, which I kind of did in this story I'll get to in a second. I want to believe it because I like the story and like the idea of it. That's definitely something that is I'm like in person anyway. Like if you tell me, oh yeah, the Queen was a lizard, which is someone David Icke said. If you don't know who he is, I'd like to believe it, but it's quite out there. But it's something I'm like, yeah, sure. And a real small percentage of me is like, yeah, sure, I want to believe that. But so yeah, anyway, so this happened to me back in 2021. I think it's September time now. Obviously, due to privacy reasons, it was near where I used to live. I don't live there now. I live about 30 minutes away drive from this town because I still work there at the moment. I have to go there. But for privacy reasons, I won't say the name of the town. What I will say is, you guys who like oh, they're the same as it. Well, Mr. Harry Styles. He's
Be
originally
careful,
from
I can
there.
get copyrighted.
Oh yeah, I guess. So let me do it again. Challenge. Is that better?
Yeah, that's a bit
But
better. But
yeah,
Captain
I mean,
Sparkle still got copyright for that.
I
So
know, I know.
there's no
That's
escapes.
like,
Ugh,
we
carry
just
on
can't
anyway.
go anywhere without getting like it's just horrible. Um, yeah, what was it? Oh yeah. So yeah, if you know Harry Styles, if you guys are fans of him, then yeah, that's where I used to live. Not originally from there, but originally from a town that's 10 minutes away. But yeah, I lived for the predominance of my life and teenage years from there. So yeah. So anyway, so for a bit of context, so my partner, who I was dating this girl from Finland. She came over and she was over for about, I think it was 2 weeks. Um, very young and immature. Things, and it was the third day she had been here, and I was going to visit my parents at the time. I was renting my own apartment, which unfortunately I don't anymore because I live in a house. Um, and it was about, I think, around 9 o'clock in the evening. We were meeting my parents because we were out during the day, kind of doing things. I was showing her the lovely English countryside. Yes, it's very nice and yum time. And so I drove her. So I wasn't drinking because I was driving, so I can't blame it on drink or. We did a bit of coke on the side, if you know what I mean. No, I'm kidding, we weren't. But yeah, so I went to my parents' house. Obviously, it was shout out to all my guys out there who've taken the girlfriend home for the first time. It is cringe, they were showing baby pictures, which obviously makes my PP look small. And I was doing all the various things that we did. Look, we played a game of charades. It was very cringe, and especially when the old man gets on the old drinking tree. Gets quite uh, monkey time. Um, do you have anything like that, mate, with your exes or your partner? You had anything like that where
Well,
your parents have just got just completely
my fiance, my fiance, which
wait,
I know is
you
a
have
big,
a
I
fiance?
know it's a
No
big
way.
surprise. I have a fiance. I recently got engaged. Big surprise for everyone. But
When you getting married? When you getting married, Mr. Rips? Are you gonna let us know, or
Homna homna
uh,
homna homna homna.
NordVPN? No. Okay.
um, yeah. I don't know exactly when I'm getting married, but we'll see. We'll see
Who's
what
your best
happens.
man gonna be? That's what we're asking. Uh,
All right, next subject.
Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil, is it? Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay.
basically, when I took my fiance around to see my parents, um, it was pretty weird because most of the baby pictures that my mum shows are definitely not me. They're probably my brothers or
Is it your
like
twin? Oh, no, you have a twin.
no,
Just
they're probably my brothers at that point. It's not that she doesn't have baby pictures of me because she probably does. She just doesn't remember.
yeah.
She doesn't remember which ones are my brothers and which one are me.
No, I'm sure she does because mothers have that instinct that they'll know. They can tell their
I
kids
I
apart.
severely doubt it. I severely doubt it. She's like Dory from Finding Nemo. She doesn't remember.
Well, I mean, you and
Um,
your brother look extremely alike. You've got your older brother who you look nothing like him, but your the middle and you look like literally you were like twins. Like you look
well,
so
we have
alike.
the same dad. We have the
Ah,
same dad. My other brother, my oldest brother, doesn't have the same dad as me, so that's why we look so
yeah,
not similar. You know what I mean?
yeah. That's
Um,
probably why.
yeah. But definitely can't tell when it comes to baby pictures between me and my brother, me and my middle brother.
Mm.
So it's quite when she was showing my fiance baby pictures, I was quite a fat baby. So when she was showing me one picture, I
You
was like,
still are the
"That's
one, yeah.
not me. That's not me. That is my brother because that's a skinny baby, and I was a hunormous baby."
Man, you still are a enormous baby. You're just
Don't call
20
me
years old.
a massive baby. Don't get calling me that.
If you go baby me, like, wah, wah, wah. My name's Rich. Wah,
If you
wah,
guys
wah.
look at his Minecraft skin, right? You see the hair color of his Minecraft skin. You would think that would only be like, in Minecraft, but I promise you, that's the exact same color as his
And
hair
if you
in real
see the
life.
other one, you see the hints of ginger and orange tangerine, like it's like marmalade or something. I've smeared milk on mine and Rips has smeared marmalade. We'll make a marmalade sandwich next, so yeah, it'd be kind of cool. What's worse, marmalade, ginger, or blondes? I don't know. Let's find out next week. Let's start a poll. What is worse? Yeah. We're going off topic here now because you keep talking about your feet for no reason,
But
and you.
carry on with your story.
Oh, my story time. I'm a story time YouTuber now. So yes, once upon a time there was a little princess. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, I took my ex to see my parents. Yeah, it was very nice, nice bit of scran, nice bit of food. Scran is food for you American audience out there. And we came out, so we got there about, oh, excuse me, 10 o'clock. Left there about half 11 to 12. So I'll say it was about midnight. So it was very late. I was relatively tired, but not that tired. I still had a lot of. If I was to work out for 4 minutes, I could, if you know what I mean. So my ex at the time was like, "Oh, you know what? I really fancy going on the walk. Do you know any like decent place to walk, like a park or anything?" And I was like, "Well, we do have, and obviously I went to the name of it, but Rips, obviously, I'm sure you know what the park I'm
It's a
talking about. So
lake. It's a lake.
yeah, wait, yeah, it's basically it's a park slash lake. Like it has climbing frames, swings, and it has the lake, and it has like little coffee shop. It's very nice in the summer to go there. You can go on like the boats as well. You can do fishing. It's very nice. Um, and regarding this lake, it hasn't had any supernatural wording. Has no supernatural calling for it. If you know what I mean, like there's been nothing said that oh yeah, it's that people die there. It's had it's ghosts. It's been built over an ancient Nazi burial ground or something like that. It's not. The only thing that has happened is some boy did drown there back in like 2014 because he's an idiot and swimming when he shouldn't have been swimming. That was the only thing that was there. Yeah, there was nothing. So I drove over, and you basically to get in there, you pull in next to a little. If you guys know a little, very nice bakery. A little pulled in, and you have to go through like actually into like past a couple of trees to another kind of car park. So I pulled in. I say it's about roughly about midnight, 12 o'clock. Got out. It was quite chilly. And the intention of going there was to walk, and obviously, if there was a chance to, do, work in nature, as we were in nature, there was that chance as well. But anyway, so we were walking around, and while we're walking, to our left, there was a kind of coffee shop slash boat place, so we couldn't see the lake on our left, so it was just completely central. We walk down, there's like climbing frames and swings to our right, it's like a little park area. Oh my god, scared the Jesus, my phone went off, then scared me. And as you come around, you basically go down a bit to it's like a dock kind of area. It's basically I call it where the swans are because obviously the swans, geese, and I'd say pigeons and ducks there. Where you can feed them. Where kids like if you got dogs who go in the water, you chuck a stick in there. So we come down to this bit, and it was September in England, which it is pitch black at about 3:30 in the afternoon. So it was completely dark. Actually, I forgot to mention that. Completely pitch black. Obviously, it was midnight as well, so it didn't help. Now they have like there's three what they're called, lampposts for light. So there was one. We just passed one. There was one about a couple of meters from us, and there's one completely directly across the lake from us. And the lake is quite far away. It's far further away that like you have to like get a boat to go across, but close enough that you can see kind of people walking on the other side. So we got to the bank bit, and I was my ex was like chilling on the phone and like talking to me, talking about random stuff. And before we got to that point, I might add as well, for whatever reason, we got onto the topic about like paranormal and like paranormal strange encounter type things, as you would. It was brought on, I think, possibly by my ex's favourite YouTuber was Nuke's Top 5, which is a guy who he's got a very interesting voice. Where he's like, five strange things that happen caught on live. But the next thing that happened is absolutely bizarre. Like he has a very, very nice. I wish I had that voice. And like he talks about five strange occurrences that happen, five ghosts caught on camera, that type of thing. And obviously, because we're talking about that, we kind of got a little bit uneasy and an eerie feeling because there was no one else here. There was no cars. It was completely silent. There wasn't even any owls or birds or anything going off. So it was literally just me and my ex-girlfriend at the time. I'll for the sake of this, I'll call her Sandra. Just keep calling her ex-girlfriend. So Miss Sandra, we've got down to this little top bit. Now I'm one of these people where I rarely get. Obviously, I'm really eccentric in person. I would joke, but I rarely get uneasy, and like I'm at a point where I do not feel comfortable at all. Even if I meet someone new, I'll try and be nice and comfortable and don't make them cringe or anything. Now I often say, I'm kind of bored, let's go, if I'm really uncomfortable and I feel really uneasy about a certain situation. So keep that in mind is all I'll say. So anyway, we would turn. We've gone to the bit where the bit is. We turn right to kind of follow the path along, and as we were turning to go the path along, as Sandra was talking about random bollocks as girls do while looking at the phone, and at the corner of my eye, I catch a silhouette with a tiny glimpse of light in it, to the point where I could see the silhouette. I couldn't see a face, couldn't see arms, couldn't see legs. I just saw silhouette ahead, and that was it. And this silhouette was, I'd say, it was about 6'2". It was a tallish, as in, it was taller than I'm only 6 foot, so it was taller than me. But it wasn't like astronomically tall, so about the size of a guy. I don't know if it was someone who was just dressed in black, if he had a hoodie on, if he want, but it was stood, and it looked as if it was just staring right at us. Like it had been staring at us for some time. It knew it was there or something, and it just didn't move. It kind of, and I turned my head fully, so it saw me look at it. As Sandra was on the phone, so she didn't notice me look over, and I didn't want to panic her at all, because if you start to panic, then all hell breaks loose. And I kind of slowed down a tad, which obviously made Sandra slow down a bit, and she was kind of looking at her phone and like looking at me, looking over. And I really quickly turned my head, and she was like, "Is everything okay?" I said, "Yeah, it's okay. Are you kind of bored now?" I'm kind of thinking about turning back, is what I said to start with. And within an instant that I said that, I kid you not, I heard a faint whisper say, "You need to get out of here." And I heard it, and a chill basically went down my spine, as if someone was either warning me, or there was just something saying, "You do not want to carry on around," because so the path that we were taking would eventually put us on the opposite side, directly to where whatever that thing was, that silhouette was. Um, and I was looking around. I didn't see anyone. I didn't see anyone who could have said that. I didn't see or hear rustling or anything. And within that moment, it was a fight or flight situation. It was either I carry on, forget about it, or get my wits together and just think, yeah, we'll go home. It's time to go home. So I basically took Sandra's hand and said, "Come on, it's time to go home. I'm really tired," or something. I immediately turned around, and I think she knew something it was off because there's no way I went from completely calm to just, yeah, let me get the fuck out of here. Um, I was turning around, walk about, and I turned around again to see if it was, and the silhouette had moved, I think, about 5 feet to the right, to its left, so it was kind of around towards our way, but still looking at us, if that makes sense. So it moved a bit, kind of like a weeping angel. It moved and it stopped. So there was definitely something there. It wasn't my imagination. It wasn't like a trick. So it had moved, and with that, I kind of, until we got around the side where we couldn't see that bit of the lake anymore, I just watched it, and to this day, I still have not gone back there. I still have not even got there in the daytime because I don't know to this day what would have happened if I just didn't even notice it, and just carried on around. If it had attacked us, what would have happened? Now, there's been no, as I said, there's been no reports of mysterious occurrences going on, people going missing, anything. It was just, I don't know if it was a bloke who was there, or if, as I say, it was a Friday. Well, it was like a middle of the day, a midweek day I went there. I don't know. It was just the wrong place at the wrong time, and I told I told Sandra when we got back because if I told her they should have freaked the fuck out. So um, that's yeah. So that's really my only ever time that I've come across something near to what because she classed as a strange occurrence or a situation of paranormal encounters in quotation marks. So that was that's very creepy, and I haven't actually told Rips this story, so the first time he's hearing it as well as you guys are, because for one, I don't think anyone would believe me to be fair, and two, it just never came with a conversation, and
I
three,
mean,
um,
it's a very
yeah,
suspicious circumstance and it's very spooky. So I did discuss this with Higgsy about maybe going back to that location at the same
mm,
time, and basically what we would do is we would take two or three of our friends with us because I don't want us to be on our on our own because
yeah,
whatever it was, it won't be fun. So what I thought was we could take two or three of our friends and go back there at the same time and kind of explore,
mm.
which I think would be a cool video idea. If you
No,
like that
it
idea,
would,
get in
because
the
it's
comments.
different and it's coming out of our comfort zone anyway. I mean, I've never been anywhere. I hardly go anywhere of an evening unless I'm with other people. Especially not to the extent of trying to encounter something astronomically a phenomenon or something phenomenon. Do, 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 do. Um, so yeah, if you guys are interested, let us know. In terms of where I stay at the moment, I'm out in the sticks, and there are a couple of abandoned farms and places where it's very, very creepy. So if you guys want to see that, let us know. And I've been told by one of our friends who were watching the streams, I sound like popcorn. I don't know how to handle that. It's just Rich who sounds like a celebrity. So I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. Um, yeah. Thanks, Rips. You sexy bloke.
Now to get on to our next subject. Quick change of subject.
Mm.
Should our next subject be copyright?
It's up to you. I mean, you can go.
Alright.
Yeah, go on. Go on. Tell us about how you've been stroked by the
So,
almighty hand of Susan Wazinski, whatever her name is.
what was that? It was our first subject was copyright. No, was you know the paranormal, and what was the other one? Completely blank now.
Conspiracies.
Conspiracies, yeah. We didn't talk about
Yeah.
conspiracies. I want to quickly talk about copyright, and then we'll go into conspiracies because that's a huge subject as well.
That word is that you hate that word.
I know.
It's
Conspiracies.
conspiring inside your head whenever you
Alright.
try to say it.
So, what happened with the whole copyright situation is, obviously, I released a video on Fortnite with Fail Meteor. and basically, I'm not a huge channel. I've got 5 subscribers, so I'm not a huge channel. So
Oh
for
mate,
me to get
you're gaming.
copyrighted, that's weird. Um, so I got
It's like David
copyrighted
versus Goliath.
for the song Justin Bieber and Kid Laroi "Stay." Um, because Fatal Meteor did an emote dance on Fortnite, which the song from the emote dance was that exact song, and
Yeah.
I still got copyrighted for it, which was weird, and quite strange because it wasn't even that long the song was going on for, which, for most YouTubers, like, it's really hard to do things without getting copyrighted, and
Yeah.
especially now Captain Sparkles, and you're talking about
I
like
know you
people who
mentioned
have
that. Yeah.
done parodies. Like, it's very, very, very difficult for them to do certain
Yeah.
type of videos
It
when
is.
copyright is guaranteed.
I know.
Um,
Yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's that like you have. So I've put it into two categories when it comes to copyright. You have the copyright where it's people strike your video no matter what you do, even if you're not even in the intention of going out to expose someone and say, "Oh no, this is mine." And you have the copyright where it is the I suppose the inspiration and kind of doing your own thing kind of thing. So obviously you have the copyright where if Mr. X, for example, went out of his way to say, right, Kid Leroy, that's my song, I'm making it, it's all me. Yeah, I like poo poo kind of thing. He used it for 2 seconds, and well, he didn't even do it. He didn't even mean to do it. He just came up and he just wanted to record a video. Now, all the enjoyment and time he had in that video, although it was kind of boring because I wasn't there. He did it, and he has to kind of, he probably has to take. Have you taken it down that
no,
video?
no,
Oh, well, he'll probably have to take down a video in the future because he'll have a copyright strike for absolutely nothing. And you got the other segment of the copyright where is when people purposely do it to just get back at you. Like say, for example, I'm having an argument with someone, a YouTuber beef, and I use a segment of the video to illustrate my point of they said this, who ha the whole word works. Um, get the reference? I'll come back to that in a second. And they'll be like, "Oh, I've got no comeback. Let me strike the video because they use a part of my video, and let me get the video removed, or let me just be a really big scumbag and just be like that," which is what people often do. And then you have to go to court, well, YouTube court about it to appeal it and to appeal the copyright strike, which is exactly it's basically like um I don't know, you're having a fist fight with someone pulls a gun out on you because he's ashamed, and then you have to appeal to say, "Oh, you shouldn't have used a gun. Why have you used a gun to a boxing match?" Well, it's like that, you know. Like if you're doing it on purpose, I can understand, but if you're just doing it, for no reason, to intend to copyright, or you're just using it because you like the music, or you're just using it because it's an emote in a game, you shouldn't be copyright strike that much. It shouldn't be just copyright strike at all. It is what it is. And you've got the other segment of copyright where no matter what you do, is try and be unfamiliar, to try and be your own thing, to try and start from the ground up, as I say. You literally start from a seed and go up. You will always have that one person saying, "Oh, you're just like this person, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you're just like da, 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 da. Oh, you're a caricature from the. Oh, you're not original at all. You're unoriginal." No matter what you do on YouTube, you will always be classed unoriginal because you're similar to someone else. I mean, just take this for example. We're doing a podcast. We're not the first people to do it. We're not the last people to do it, I'm sure. But all we compare, "Oh, you're just like so and so. Oh, you're just like so and so." We're not intending to, at all. And most of the time, if people are saying, "Oh, you're acting like this person," we have no idea who it is. We literally have no idea who it is. Just saying, "Oh, we're just like that." It's like it's bloody bollocks. Like, what are we supposed to do? So you do get the very, very small chance that you'll start from the original and you'll start your own thing. iDubbbz, for example, he started Battle Box, and if someone was to do that, we'd be like, "Oh, you're just copying iDubbbz." And speaking of copying iDubbbz, I used to who had the whole world works is waffing video if you guys have ever seen it, but um, But yeah, it's just using inspiration to do your own thing, having your twists on it. That's fine. If you deliberately go out to copy someone, that's just why. Like the Mr. Beast clone that's come out all of a sudden for no reason. But if you're using inspiration, to create your own thing, like for example, you got the Star Wars and the Harry Potter segment where people comparing that is very, very similar. You've got the boy at the start, obviously Harry Potter and Luke. You've got the old ambassador, like overseer. You could, I suppose, class as Harry, but in terms of they both died with Dumbledore and everyone can know. I should know that 'cause I'm a Star Wars fan. I don't know why I hesitated there. You've got the two disfigured antagonists, obviously being Emperor Palpatine and Lord Vodibod. You've also got the Death Eaters and the Sith. You've got the armies. You've got I suppose unique powers in a way, but they've all got their own twists. Like Star Wars was Starfire did their own thing. Harry Potter was Harry Potter Wizards, and he created a school and just he completed his own thing, a change, and it was really, it's an amazing thing that we now know to this day. The pop culture references. I mean, we know Harry Potter completely. Americans like it more than we do.
I mean,
Do you know what I mean?
happened to magpieing? Taking inspiration from one place and equipping it to your designs in order to make your designs better. Take things from individual places, put them together to make one better thing. What's wrong with that?
Exactly. There's nothing.
As long as you're taking something and putting your own, inspiration on it, that's good. You know what I mean?
It's like, it's like if you're going to accuse someone of copying, just take movie posters, for example. Why you're not going to sit there and tell me that I'm copying someone when you've got Star Wars and Marvel practically having the exact same logo and thumbnail for their movies. Like all the people in like a triangle shape.
There was the Riverdale thing as well.
Yeah, there's like It Follows, which is basically a movie that is supposed to represent an STD in a way. If you haven't seen it, it's if you know if you watch it, it's basically a couple in a car, doing the hot stuff because that's how they pass around this person who kills people, believe it or not. As I say, if you watch the movie, you know what I mean. And you've got Riverdale, which is obviously, I'm sure you guys know what Riverdale is. I've never seen it, wasn't really a fan. Rip's is a popular ginger kid in it, so he wants him to be that person. And they're in a car. Literally, it is pretty much the exact same image. There's lots of others that you can use examples. I just know them two off the top of my head. So, we're all original, but we've also got the unoriginality where we take familiarity from other people because you use it to improve you. Because if you take movies for example, you have some which have nearly the same plot, but that's because people like it. Trends. People just copying it to do the exact same thing on a different game. But
we're getting to a stage where we're getting to a stage where inspiration is becoming copying, which is not exactly good. It's really bad because if someone has more viewers than you, or even less viewers than you, right, and they take something from one of your videos and use it in theirs, and they say, look, this is the person who actually did it, this is the person that I took it from, go check them out, then it couldn't hurt, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like if you're promoting the small guys, and originality is overrated, as I've heard someone say. But what annoys me as well is you'll have big YouTubers who will steal ideas from smaller YouTubers and put them off their own because they can't think of anything. And I've seen that a couple of times. And that's like Morgs used to do a lot of the time. He just take intros and topics from people, literally word for word. There's a video on the internet if you want to check it out. And that's really bad because that person who did it originally will be classed as copying, even though the big YouTuber is the copier. It's just clout and fame overrules everything, unless you're a pedophile. But yeah.
That was really bad to say.
Yeah, but it's true. You can't like it doesn't matter. Anyway, I was about to say, if like a big YouTuber now, even though it was really famous, came out as being that thing, he'd be destroyed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even if they said the N word, if they did the other thing, they're destroyed.
Yeah.
Literally. We're losing half the Minecraft community because of it. No.
Oh no, the game that we're on. Oh no.
No, yeah, there's gonna be a Curb Your Enthusiasm. Bum 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 bum. Because
Oh
where
no.
one of us is probably gonna turn out into it.
Don't say that.
Obviously,
Don't say that. Don't
obviously,
say that.
in England,
Jesus
ginger
Christ.
is assumed to be a nonce.
Whoa,
So
whoa,
all
whoa.
I'm
Guys,
so all I'm saying is
I have nothing to do with this. Backing away. Backing away. I have nothing to do with this conversation.
back up
Backing
child
away.
rips. Back up into go on.
Higgs. First off, you're gonna get us cancelled. Second off,
My God, you can't. It's comedy. Well, I hope it's comedy. You know, it's just, there you go again, people. Oh, I can't.
we have to watch what we're saying. We're in a different generation. Alright? So, what we need to do is that conversation back up. Never said it, never said anything. Don't know that conversation.
You're lucky.
You know what I mean?
You're lucky that you get to watch the Christmas shoes later. Otherwise, I'll be very upset. Understand me?
But, that's an inside joke between us.
Yeah.
Getting back onto the other subject.
Get back on track. Yeah.
It's quite copyright is quite an annoying subject, and if done right, then it can be a good thing.
It's a growing cause. It's a growing pandemic. Worse than COVID with copyright striking.
It's going to be really bad, and it's in that subject. When it came to my situation, it was done bad, and I really don't think I should have, got copyrighted at all, because first off, I didn't do the emote. Second off, it wasn't for that long, and
yeah. So if anything, Fatal is the man behind it. So we need to
if you want to go, if you want to
give him
transfer,
tell him,
if you want
how
to transfer
dare he get
that copyright over there, that would be appreciated. That would be appreciated.
He's done a quest to get Rips cancelled. That's his quest at the moment. So.
Nah, Fatal's a great guy. Fatal's a great guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking as well about potentially getting guests on here. I mean, obviously, we love having more people on here.
I think
we got good chemistry.
Will definitely be a guest coming up.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Of course, because I mean, we have good chemistry. And we know each other personally, ARL, as Rips would say. Obviously, it's just fun to be around because he's a lot shorter and just fun, good to make fun of. Because just be that thing, But we've got good chemistry. We can say things about each other.
Another thing I'd love to do is get my fiance on to talk about the supernatural side of things again, to go more in depth about the supernatural things that she's experienced, because that would be a good subject to go through with her, because she can go into, if we also do some research and we can go into different horror stuff we've watched, and we can go into different theories.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just what I was saying earlier about.
I think definitely having a horror episode of this, talking about stuff
definitely
would be really fun.
And we're not going to wait till October. If you guys are liking this and you just talk about random stuff, we can up so we'll have certain days for certain things, we can I don't know, Minecraft Monday or Spooky Saturdays, but whatever. That's Corey Kenshin's thing, Spooky Sunday. But we can talk about that kind of thing because we're very interested in it. I mean, I like reading about it. I mean, I can give you. There's a story about a guy in Osset who was he killed his wife and his dog. Was supposedly possessed by a demon. He didn't recall any of it. That's a very interesting story, and that's set in England. So there's a guy called Mr. Borland who, I don't know if you guys heard of, he's amazing. Check him out. He's basically, it reminds me of when I used to get bedtime stories when I was a kid, because he'll sit there talking about stories of weird things and weird encounters and just people going missing, things which have occurred which are just unexplained. That's all.
Going into our next subject, though, things that can't be
Just
explained.
completely cut me off there, Rich. You know,
I
you're a
know.
sexy bloke.
I'm converting into different subjects because we're at the 49-minute mark, so I want to push us into more subject.
You need to get an alarm. Just go.
Next subject is conspiracy theories. Now,
the
the
conspiracy
first one,
theory.
I'm going to take over the first bit because I like talking about this, is Mariana Trench.
I've talked to him about a 60-minute segment on your last video. It was just me talking. Go on.
So I'm going to take over this one. The Mariana Trench, most of our water is not explored. Like, most of the water on this planet, most of the oceans have not been explored.
Yeah, 5% is what we've explored. So
yeah,
far, that's what NASA did.
So 5% of our oceans have not been explored. So imagine the things in the parts of the ocean that we don't know about. Imagine the things in the Mariana Trench that we don't know about. One of the cool theories that have been told to me, and I've seen through YouTube videos, I've seen through all stuff. I know that's not really a good example, YouTube videos, but
well, there is some element of truth in that. You know, you can't deny. That's like anything, though, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, the theory channels are really good to look at when it comes to, you know, more of like information-based sources. But the main thing that I was looking at is megalodons, and if they could be in the Mariana Trench.
The Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws. I love anything with giant sharks. Movies with giant sharks are just so cool. They're just so cool. Like, all the Jaws and all the, all, like, giant sharks in general movies. Sorry, I got a text from my fiance. That's why I just stopped.
I'm like that as well. Yeah, but they're making. Remember Meg with Jason Statham? They're making a second one as well. It should be good.
If they make a second one, it will be amazing. I love giant shark movies, giant squid movies, giant animal movies in general are just so good. They're just really good.
Gulliver's Travels then.
In Gulliver's Travels. That was just him giant. What do you mean?
That was a giant creature, isn't he?
You can't call Jack Black a giant creature.
He's a giant bloke.
Giant bloke.
Yeah.
Listen, mate. So basically, we're talking about giant geezers here. So there's this giant geezer. He has a fin, right? And he's in the Mariana Trench, we think, and he's an absolute unit. I tell you, Jason Statham tried to take him on, and he took on one of them, absolutely battered the geezer, and then this psych on him, like the other geezer called another geezer, and that other geezer went and he hit the other geezer.
What are you doing?
Explaining the Meg.
Why it sound as if you put your mouth to one side and it's fancy here. Oh, what he's done, he's gone over here, a little cockney, he's gone. Alright, Nigel.
So to get back onto subject, I know we went off it again. I just think it would be really cool, like, if some of the creatures that, you know, used to exist still did exist and we found them. Like, say randomly, I know they would probably kill us, but say if we randomly found a T-Rex one day and we were like, oh, T-Rexes.
Yeah,
it would be
hiding under the bed for like 10 years.
it would be really cool to see, like, a creature, especially in a place that humans mostly aren't, you know, in the water. It would be really cool to, you know, say if they had a camera permanently locating the shark and you could tune in and watch the megalodon, you know, swimming around, and you could be like,
it's about a reality TV show, but keeping up with the megalodons or something. That'd be great.
Yeah, it would be awesome. It would be genuinely awesome. I would love that. I would genuinely love that.
I can imagine you sitting watching National Geographic of a fish, just a large fish just swimming around the surf, like, oh my god, she's great, guys. Like, oh my god. Totally.
I could watch that for hours. I could literally watch that for hours, especially if it's a huge megalodon shark. Listen, sharks get up to all sorts.
All sorts
Sharks,
of
sharks are
shenanigans.
about it. Sharks are about it. Um, but it would be really cool to know that megalodons were still a thing. I know it would be scary. I know they would probably murder us all, but you know, it would probably be like really cool to have megalodon
Yeah.
sharks around. And
I wonder if a megalodon is bigger than a blue whale. Not blue
oh
whale
yeah,
is.
much bigger, much bigger, a
Well,
lot
because the
bigger.
blue whale's the largest, well, the largest thing, animal, the
That would
largest mammal
be
anyway.
the blue whales would be its food source.
Yeah.
Like at that point, the blue whales would be its food source. They're way bigger than the blue
Holy cow.
whales. Um, but yeah, definitely when it comes to those sorts of conspiracy theories, those are my best for like creatures that shouldn't be, creatures that should be dead might be still
I
alive. That's my favorite. Like when it comes to like Bigfoot and that stuff, I would favor like the megalodon shark over any of those. Um, definitely. Bigfoot, however, if Bigfoot was ever a thing, wouldn't he make the best Chewie from Star Wars? He would be the best all-time actor for
it
Chewie.
was. I mean,
Like,
I can't remember the guy who originally played Chewbacca, but nah, he'd be paid like crap ton just to remake him. No, yeah.
I mean, Bigfoot in general, Star Wars featuring Bigfoot. You know what I mean? Like, come on, come on. That would just be awesome, and I think that would fit so well. If Bigfoot ever existed, hit me up. I'll get you in touch with Star Wars, and you'll be the next Chewie. All right, got you. I got you, man. I
Go to
don't know if
Disneyland
you
and
have
you'll
Wi-Fi
just
in those
cosplay,
woods, but you know what I
cosplay.
mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'll get you on that Bigfoot. I'll get you on
Got
that.
all Harry and the Hendersons. His doppelganger. No, his secret life is Chewbacca.
No one would
Shout out
know.
to Harry.
No one would know. Harry and the
No.
Hendersons. Shout out to that guy. Big fan, big fan. But anyway, I think HiGGzy has a topic when it comes to conspiracy theories, so I'll let him take over again.
Oh, you really want me
Yep,
to
go
take
on.
over and
Go in.
talk about it? Okay. So obviously conspiracy theories, there are hundreds out there, hundreds. Some from apparently the government is trying to poison us by putting bleach and washed up liquid that was surprisingly similar to Fanta and Gatorade directly next to each other in supermarkets to obviously the main one being Illuminati that they control and run everything. I mean, we have the Brother Masons. If anyone knows what the Masons are, they're very big in the UK. I think there's still something now in the UK. Apparently, that's just the council. But higher from the council, I want to say. There's a topic that I wanted to speak about, and I did speak a lot about, but I can structure it now because I've done it and I know what I did wrong. So I was just casually, as you do, chilling on Instagram, looking at very pretty ladies on there and potentially speaking to a couple of um, ladies who want my seed. But and on the background there was a video of this chap just talking about conspiracy theories. It was an hour-long video, and there was a segment that was 20 minutes long where he was describing and talking about. Stay with me here. I say this, and I'm about this for everyone. The flat Earth theory. Now, I'm one of these people where if it's ridiculous, far-fetched, and just doesn't make sense at all, I probably a smidgen would like to believe it, but just my logic would take over. Like, no, you're talking bollocks. Same thing about David Icke when he apparently back in the day, Obama, the Queen, Donald Trump, celebrities were all reptilian beings. Apparently, as I say, he was absolutely crazy. Now, I probably lost you here now, but there's a couple of pointers I picked out from that video, that made me kind of think he's got a point. You know what? He's got a point. He's onto something, that lad. He's got a point. And there's a couple of things in there where I still think now, bloody hell, he's right. Obviously, I'll go on to in a second. So the first thing he talks about is going back to way back in the day when the Bible was first written. Now, obviously, most people that believe in the Bible, most people that believe in Christianity, because there are several religions out there which people and I try to celebrate. I respect religions, and beliefs. I'm not a bigot or anything, but I am, Christian Catholic, so obviously that is myself. And in terms of the Bible, they stated there was obviously Eden. It was a plane, obviously. It was a flat surface kind of a plane, which very kind of links into what our what a planet is. It's basically plane with a T. Obviously, it's spelled differently, but they could have changed it. You never know. So the Bible illustrated that Earth was just a straight plane where you had the sand, the dirt, dust, ice, and obviously Eden Garden, which is obviously where supposedly we housed Adam and Eve. Now, regarding that, it was very strange to see that even back there, they illustrate the Earth as being a plane of flat surface, as opposed to being a spherical sphere, which is what we're all been told and we all believe to this day. That was one point you mentioned, and that made me think, okay, that is very strange. If that is true, obviously I haven't read that part of the Bible because I haven't read the Bible. I just preach off it, so I wouldn't know. Now, there was another segment talked about was obviously NASA itself. Now, NASA, they obviously look after. Obviously we all know who NASA is. They've got the moon landing. They did export into the sea and so forth. Now, he mentioned regarding NASA. So obviously with the moon landing, as I just mentioned, a lot of people, Rips yourself might be one of these people who believe that the moon landing is fake. Now, I believe it's real because of the certain cameras couldn't, the lighting couldn't be deal because of how big the sun is, but there was certain shadows. I don't know. I believe it's real because I want to be real. I want to leave it into space. We have the technology to do so. Now, Rips, do you believe in the moon landing or not?
I do, but the only reason is not because of science, is not because of any conspiracy theories. The only reason I believe the moon landing is real is just because it's pretty cool. I'm not going to listen to any science. I'm not going to listen to any of that. I'm just going to listen to what's cool. And I personally think if we didn't do the moon landing, that's boring. And, what are we doing with our lives? That moon looks pretty cool to sit on. Let's get up there. If we have done it, which that's what I want to believe, then it's just pretty cool to be that someone's been up there, and Mr. Armstrong went one step for one step for mankind. You know what I mean? I don't know his exact quote. I completely forgot his.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I believe if that guy geezer went up there and did his little speech, placed a little flag, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll take that any day. That's a big dub. But if that's not the case, and people forged things, then Elon Musk, get back up there. Put a new flag, show yourself there. Be like, yo,
it says up there, drive around, do a double donuts. Mate, come on.
But Elon Musk, if you want another guy to go up there and just confirm that the moon landing's real, let me know, and I'll go on a trip with you. As long as you're there with me, holding my hand, Elon, we'll go do it. You know what I mean? Same with the Matrix. I'm not going to mention who the Matrix is about, but anyone who knows what I mean, Matrix. If you want to promote us, we'll help you in any way you want, as long as you make us as popular as everyone else that people claim is part of the Matrix. You
And make
know,
Ash's avatar at least 6 foot tall,
yeah,
because he's
and
been
you need
dirty.
to edit me. You need to edit my real life character because making me only 5'5", you're a menace. You're a menace, Matrix.
Only four
You need
foot tall,
you
isn't
need
it?
to
Yeah.
you need to update this model and make it at least 6'2". Come on, why you gotta make me slacking like this? Honestly, and you made me ginger as well. That's just rude. That's just rude at this point. I don't know
And
what you had
can't
to do
read.
to me.
Like, it's just sorts the
Okay, you
room.
didn't have to bring up that, Higgsy. Honestly,
Well,
you're a
you
menace.
were digging
You're a
yourself a
menace.
hole. I
Why you
thought I'd help
got?
you.
Listen, if I dig myself a hole, help me out of it. Don't dig it
Yeah, I
further.
was. I was digging it deep with you.
This is how you can tell Higgsy's a friend and not anything else. Because
Uh,
friends, if anyone talks smack to you, they'll fight them off. But when you're talking smack about yourself, they'll help you dig the hole. They'll help you go in deeper.
I've to bring the diggers and everything.
Oh God.
God,
Gotta
blimey.
love friends. Gotta love friends.
You know.
Um,
Said I
but
was
yeah, so I definitely think the moon landing was real, and I would like to think it's real.
So, regarding the moon landing, so a lot of people don't believe it is real. One element of that is there was an interview afterwards with one of the technicians there who said, well, we lost all the footage of the moon when we went up there, we don't have the technology anymore to do it. And that happened recently as well. So, we don't have the technologies and what we had back in the day to get up to the moon. It's like they went to the moon in what, the 60s, 60s, 70s, whatever it was. Now we don't have the technology, but we have the technology to have self-driving cars, but we can't go to the moon again. So that's developed distrust with everyone with NASA. So there could be potential line about a lot of other things, which is, why it could be a line about certain other things in terms of the Earth itself. And the reason potentially for that is they have cameras. Of course, as you know, if you type in Earth on Google, they will have images that come up. Obviously, that if it's not art drawn or it's not a wall, the NASA. Sorry, that's yawn. Which NASA have captured in space. Now, there was something I read from actually one of NASA's websites, I believe, that they only take about a 3 or 4% image per minute of the Earth when it is supposedly spiraling around. So they're not actually taking a full picture of the Earth, just a 3% at a time image. So the image you actually end up seeing is NASA's portrayal of it from taking 3%. So it improvises most of the time, and will potentially use Photoshop to mix it together and make it look more realistic, which is ironic because it makes it look far realistic because you put some countries in certain areas. So again, with that distrust from NASA, you'd probably expect it really, for them to do something like that. So that's another thing mentioned. Now, another key element he mentioned, I don't know if this is true because we don't know because it was quite hush hush. So I believe it's the United Nations. I can't remember if it is or not. It probably is because anyway, so they have the little circle spiral, which is of all the countries. But obviously they can't do a sphere because it wouldn't make sense on a border. But that's what people say is the Earth now. It's flat like that. And you've got Antarctica, which surrounds us all. Now, there was supposedly a treaty signed by all the nations to disallow anyone from going to Antarctica to climb the big ice wall they've got. There's a massive ice wall in Antarctica. Supposedly they say, but it's too dangerous to climb, or it's too big. There's areas of Antarctica you can go to climb, but most of it is just a massive ice wall because who wants to go all that way just to climb an ice wall? And there are sorry, I'm going to yawn again. There is it's security. There is very similar to Nevada with Area 51, which is not the biggest conspiracy in its own. They have that around Antarctica. And he's going into that like this. I don't really remember it, to be fair, because it was I was more interested about the other things he mentioned. But there's that as well, which apparently Antarctica surrounds the whole of the Earth with the horizon, and it's completely flat. So that's, and again, another thing that he mentioned that was quite that is quite. Ooh, it kind of makes sense why no one has gone there because no one has actually gone over to the ice wall and climbed it. So yeah, that is kind of the. I'm trying to think of anything I've potentially missed off. There probably is that I'll come back to. Um, so yeah, that is someone's mention. But as I say, he was quite. He wasn't really into it. Um, but he kind of believes some things. And regarding the belief side of it, so in terms of how supposedly the government is trying to stop people coming out and saying about flat Earth, obviously there's people who are, free speech and free thinkers. It's all lies. There isn't free speech at all. It's a government speech. So as you know, if you type in flat Earth on Google, it will come up with memes. People make fun of it. People say, "Oh, it's ridiculous." Um, which is differs to the Earth is a sphere. But that is with everything. Where if you try and talk about something in a different way, like if you talk about we live in a simulation, it's all jokes and it's all stupid, it's all jokes. Which is the government's way of trying to silence people from being free thinkers. It's like if you say something that you have an idea, someone makes fun of it and shuts you down. You get shut down completely, never mention it ever again because people just think you call you an idiot and stupid. Which is what people do when you say I'm a flat earther. Oh, you idiot! You. Why do you think the Earth is flat? And that's the government's way of subtly letting people, making people, stop coming out with ideas for that particular reason because to catch them out. And once they're silenced and told they're ridiculous, they won't go on about it anymore. It's like it went on to say regarding that, went off on a tangent and they went down the rabbit hole. So you know, alcohol and cigarettes, are illegal. Some people say it's taxed. Some people also say if you take LSD and other type of recreational drug, you could free think, and that's what you do most of your thinking outspoken. And people say you break away from the system. You're not under the control of the government supposedly, and you're a free thinker. That could have also been someone on drugs who said that at all. You don't know. Apparently, there's a certain. I can't remember which drug it was. He said if you take it, once you've taken it for the first time, you hear someone say you've finally been locked from your cell. Everyone has heard that apparently from taking that, which is a very weird thing to hear when you take it, which is like us think, what is happening with us? Are we all being controlled? Like, it's just all a simulation. What is going on? So it has to take you went that deep rabbit hole with that. So it kind of made me think and actually kind of break the fourth wall really in myself, become self-aware of what I'm looking for on my belief of telling people that are stupid for believing the flat earth. And he was like, you stand that because you've been you're a sheep that's been brainwashed by society and how people depict people who think in flat earth. So I say it was quite interesting. I mean, what's
I
your
mean,
picture,
my
Riz?
opinion on that is personally, you know, there is documentaries out there of people going around the world and you know going to all sorts of places, and there's people that have started off in one place, gone around the world back to where they originally started. So how could you do that if you're flat? If the
I
world's
know.
flat, you know what I mean? Is there a teleporter
I
at
know.
either end? Like,
I don't know.
huh?
I
Huh?
know. I mean, speaking of going around about, there was one instance where this woman, um, and I meant to mention that earlier, but this woman was on a plane, flying from America. Now I can't remember where she was flying to. It was somewhere on the other side of the world. So I'll say Australia, or no, she was flying to, I don't know, she was flying somewhere, and she fell pregnant. And when it fell into labour, so the plane had to land. And it landed in a a country where if it was flat, it would make sense, but a globe, it would not make sense for why they would land there. So that again is like what the hell? But yeah, it's as I say, it's just a conspiracy theory. We're free thinkers. But that again, a conspiracy theorist. You label as that, and you label as crazy if you be outspoken and talk about things that are out of the box and out of the system. You're classed as a conspiracy theorist, not a free thinker, or not, someone who's got new ideas. You're classed as crazy, basically. So yeah, I'll just take a sip of my water. Ash, cover for me.
But all those theories, I say theories again, are very interesting and very interesting to look at, and also to broaden your experience of, you know, of just knowing information. um, and to be honest, it's nice not to stay in one box, and it's nice not to be all the time a sheep. Only seeing what other people want you to see, like say
Hmm.
on TikTok or Messenger or
Wait, but I
Facebook or
thought you
all
liked
those
staying in
sorts of
one
things.
box, though. I thought
Not
you were
all the
people that like
time.
to stay in one box.
Not all the time.
Oh,
But
what are their names then?
I hate this guy. I really do. This is the last video with this guy. This is the last video with him. Sick of him. He's
I
a
love that
menace.
you cottoned on straight away. Oh man.
But anyway, it's it's quite interesting with conspiracy theories and the different things they involve, and some of them can be really funny, and some of them, especially the one where they were talking about celebrities being lizards. That's
I know, and
hilarious.
apparently there's two videos with Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber that their eyes go lizard-like. Have you seen those at all?
No,
Oh, you need to watch them.
you should show me
But
them.
yeah,
Um,
it is that's a bit far-fetched, I'd say, unless they've joined our society without us knowing, and we have no idea. You never know. You never know.
but I would definitely do some research into that one just because it's funny. Um, but to change the subject again, I know I keep being the one that changes the subject. I just want to keep us moving. I would like to talk about the new Harry Potter game because we talked about that a little as well.
Ah, the Harry
Uh,
Potter scandal,
the
more like.
scandal, right? So people are
The
wanting to
worst game ever
cancel.
created, apparently now, isn't it?
Apparently,
Uh,
people are wanting to cancel that game and also want to cancel every streamer who plays it, which is a little bit far fetched, and I don't think it should be a thing at all because that's just stupid at this point. Um, People are saying that J.K. Rowling um, is what are they saying about J.K. Rowling?
was she racist or something, or
Uh,
transphobic, or
Transphobic.
why though? Was it because they had a transgender person in there but was named the wrong thing? Was it, or
Oh, the
what was the issue? Do you know what it
apparently
was?
J.K. Rowling did a lot of stuff when it came to the
Which is ironic because she changed half of her characters to be in a certain way to make it more like she made Dumbledore homosexual, which is no problem with that. But in, I don't know if there was any need for it, but there's no need to the story at all. No, she kind of did that all on her own, to kind of make it more family friendly. So it's kind of ironic that of all the people, it's her. Um, and isn't that kind of a fascist move to do that? Oh, if anyone does this, we'll ban them or da 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 da. Which is kind of what fascists would do if you do it if you don't listen to them, they will get rid of you, kind of thing.
yeah,
Like,
definitely. It's
but
really messed up to do it to every like streamers that stream certain games. They don't share
I
the
mean, it's like
opinions
you could have
of those games that they're
like a
playing.
10-year-old who's just going out and streaming. Oh, you're getting banned because you're playing Hogwarts. Even
Like
though they just really like Harry Potter. I mean,
they
I
just
don't like.
really like
I
Harry
won't play
Potter.
it because
They don't
I don't really like Harry
support the
Potter. I'm a
views.
Star Wars fan myself, but
They don't
yeah.
support the views of the things that they're watching or playing. They just watch it and play it because it's entertaining to them. You know, depending on what your opinions are, you shouldn't force them on anyone else. So when people like Harry Potter and they like the game, you shouldn't. Oh, if you play this, you're banned. That shouldn't be a thing. That should not be a thing. And anyone who
It's I
says
can just
that
imagine.
is very stupid. Because at
It's
the
like
end of the
it's I can
day,
imagine like a 10-year-old kid, right? Whose birthday's got Hogwarts because he really likes Harry Potter, and he starts to stream it and he just gets banned instantly because he's you're playing a game, you're racist. Like, like one of the like if you don't mind me taking over really quickly.
No
So
problem.
there was a streamer with about 3 or 4K followers on Instagram, and I never really watched this streamer. I just really like, in terms of the recommendation of games they play. Now, for obvious reasons, I won't mention the name because I respect the privacy, even though what they mentioned was a little stupid in a way. But I can understand where they're coming from. They put a post saying if you play Hogwarts, I'm going to remove you and block you because you're racist. Because there's anti-Semitic material in there, as in basically hating the Jews material, and there's transphobic, there's homosexual, whatever was in there, and I was like, how can they be in a kids game? You know what I mean? And I kind of looked into it a little bit, and it was actually one of my, I think not quite, one of my friends who told me, oh yeah, the reason people think it's against Jews is because how the goblins are portrayed. People are saying, oh, they're portraying the goblins are supposed to portray Jewish people because of the money grabbing and stuff. Now, I find that really funny. So if you're assuming that the game is making fun of the Jewish people, aren't you yourself racist and a bigot to say that they're very, very similar locations? It's like so, and in that case as well, are you saying every goblin ever on anything, on any movie, TV show, any game, anything at all, are anti-Semitic in that case? It's like there's a drink I like called Hobgoblin, which is it's a pale ale. So I can't if I drink that, I'm against Jews. Is that kind of what you're saying in a way?
And
And
also, aren't those goblins pretty similar to bankers? That's what they are. They're bankers.
yeah,
And most of those goblins, their job are bankers. They take the money from the wizards, and they give them their own little place to store their things, to store their items in a vault, aka being bankers. And some of those goblins have are servants to the wizards. And to be honest, none of that seems like they would be representing a certain diversity or a certain, culture.
not
It's
at all.
it's not at all. They're not representing any of
The
that.
only time where um you know a goblin has been represented as or like I would say goblin or something a goblin-esque has been represented as as a Jew are the Nazis because that's what they did for propaganda to try and get people to hate on the Jews. So basically, the bigots who were saying, "Oh, that's the thing." So you guys, so what are you? How do you know that? Are you supporting Hitler? Are you watching? Are you looking at anti-Semitic things and you assume? It's like I play Clash of Clans, which is I'm sure you see not into the and it's a green goblin and they would quite like somebody. That's what they do. They go and get the resources for us and are really good for grinding. So you're saying that they're anti-Semitic as well? It just makes no sense what people are saying. And if you assuming that you yourself are are bigot and racist assuming that. If you're saying, oh, it's like that, my friend, it's like, well, it wasn't intended to be because you've said that you're racist. It's like, what the hell?
My personal problem with it is the way they're attacking the streamers for them recording it,
Oh, no, yeah,
because it's
that's
not
ridiculous, that is.
their fault. They do not support the same views as what they are playing or what they are doing. That is not fair to them, and that's not fair to pretty much anyone who loves that franchise. You know
I
what I
know.
mean?
I know, it's like there was a scandal with animal activists about Battlefield 3 where there's a scene, there's like a 5 second scene where you have to stab a rat who's trying to bite your finger off. So do we kill rats and do we kill animals then if we did that? No, we don't care. We just want to play the game. That's all it is with us. It's like
And it's the
Wolfenstein
same.
2. We don't want to fucking work with Nazis or whatever that is. We don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
Um,
It's
it's the same
ridiculous.
with God of War. God of War, people
Mm.
tried to attack that for the wolf being imprisoned, and they tried to cancel Gears of War, not Gears of War, God of War, in order for that situation. I was like, well, that's a bit strange. It's whatever's popular at the time. A certain group of people has to find a problem with it, and I don't understand that.
I know. And for no reason
leave
either.
them alone.
What are they getting out of the Hogwarts game? Is what
Publicity.
I want to know. What are they getting out of it?
Publicity.
And then what?
That's it.
Oh yeah, we cancelled the game. Brilliant. Then what? You know, you just ruined like fucking probably like 2 years worth of work for people.
And you've just ruined a lot of people's jobs.
Oh, everybody called, oh no, you're fascist, you're racist, you're this, you're everything. Oh, okay then, that's great. That's fine then. I guess label me as all those things. Because you're okay to label, you know. You're more than happy to go out your way to try and offend me, but if I was to say something, oh, you can't do that.
You know, personally,
anyway.
I definitely think that shouldn't have happened. Either way, they've now just boosted the sales for that game, so didn't work. The sales have only gone up. They haven't gone down at all. So.
And I'll probably end up playing Hogwarts if it differs in price. Not because of that, by the way, just because I'll probably come around playing it.
And to be honest, it does look like a really good game, and it does look really fun. I've been watching a YouTuber by the name of Zerka from the Sidemen play it, and oh my god, that gameplay is amazing, absolutely amazing. I love his videos on it. I watched him play a couple of games. He played Subnautica, and he also did one thing I want to get into, which HiGGzYYY might get into as well, is he did the GTA roleplay on NoPixel. And now on GTA, they've updated it so you can get your own servers and do a lot more stuff on solo servers, which means there can be a lot more options for roleplay on GTA, which I think, if it's like NoPixel, I can really get into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Good.
But
yeah,
anyway, guys, sorry to end this on such a serious note, but I think it's
time to end the podcast
here.
End on a high note.
If you would like to see any of the video suggestions we've given today, or you would like us to share our opinions on certain subjects, just let us know down in the comments below. I know we kind of stutter on some words. Well, I mainly do, or mess up on some certain words.
You're the
this
only
is
person.
Our first podcast. This is our first podcast, and I'm slowly getting better at commentary, and this is a huge step towards getting me better at commentary, because this is very long commentary. So this will help me get better at that sort of thing. So if you guys would like to see any of the videos we've suggested, or see more of this podcast, then let us know below, and send us to friends. Let friends know that we have YouTube and we're recording, because that's the only way that we get up in the world, is if you let your friends know that we're here. And then they check out our content, they show their friends, they show their friends, you know what I mean? That's how we go up in the world.
Exactly. It's a pleasure, sitting there and talking with Rips and mate. I mean, as you said, if there's anything in terms of you said about the urban exploration and just doing stuff IRL that you'd like to know, in terms of get to know us more, let us know. We'll we'll do it. Any suggestions anyway, just let us know, guys. We're open. You're not going to stick to any specific trend. We're a variety stream here, or variety YouTubers. So just let us know any recommendations you'd like us to do, any games or any topics you want to speak to us about, or anything. And if there's if there's any of you guys that potentially want to join us, for an episode, let us know. We can as we start ramping up roofs, touch woods, we can once a week we can put a randomizer and get one of you guys on. Obviously through the PG-13, please. Uh, you beautiful sons of blokes. But yes, go on and Rich, since I very kindly gave us a very nice welcome, and I'm sure you do us a nice welcome out of my friendly Mundo.
Alright, like, subscribe, and most of all, deuces.
Bye!